on these. And one of the reasons for that is when it's down and you got that tide moving, that this thing will then flop around a lot and works a lot better. I tried to cheat, and I had one that had a weight on it when Rudy was over there catching all these white trout, you know. But again, having that hook on it to allow it just to float around in the current is most probably not a bad idea.
This is the rig that I like to use. Sometimes we go use a double. Most of the times it's a single. And Ron will show you how to make that rig if you want in a little bit here. But basically what it is pretty much about 30 inches of leader. I usually use just Mino 20 pound. I find that the thinner lines tend to tangle up a lot. So, 20 pounds seems to work the best for me. And you come down about 12 to 18 inches, and then you do what's called a little T-knot, and I like to use a 3-inch tag on the end of that, and then just a small #1 hook, and you want to rig it so that hook kind of sits up like that, and I can show you how the loop works on that, and then you just nose clip. I like this is my favorite bait, this, the Power Prom Junior with the chartreuse tail, but then you just nose clip that on there. And then you come down about 18 inches, and then you do a loop knot here so that you can put whatever weight you want. You can interchange it or you can add to it. Typically, I find that 3/4 is kind of the minimum I use. Most of the time I use a 1 ounce, okay? And the reason for this, the whole action on this, is basically, you're usually fishing in at least 16 feet of water, sometimes up to 28, 30 feet. And then you'll have to vary your weight depending on how deep you're fishing and what the tide is. But the idea is that you get that weight sitting down and that you're able to keep enough tension on the line, kind of like that, so that that bait sits up like that. And with the tide, that bait will kind of sit straight out like this and just float and flicker in the tide. And the way I like to work it is once I cast it out, I'll keep it kind of taut like that so that I can feel anything. And the way I do it is just drop it just like that so that that bait drops down, and then pick it right back up. And just do a couple little actions like that, and that bait looks like it's just jumping all over the place. And we have a lot of success with that. The other thing is that, if you're not getting that, we usually fish, and I'll show you on the diagrams how, the areas we fish with that. But tide is important in this because it makes that bait move around a lot, The conditions we usually fish this is, there's chalk here. A couple of different ways. Number one is...
Rudy, turn this way a little bit.
This thing's pretty flimsy.
There you go.
Okay. Number one, this is like a plan view. You got a piling and you're fishing in a lake, like a bridge pile or something.
Can you tell Rudy's an architect? Plan view.
Yeah.
How many people know plan view?
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, this is a pile, and you're fishing just in a big open lake. And typically, it works better in 20 plus feet of water. Chaz uses this rig and this diagram a lot, and fishing this way a lot. He'll get behind the pile if the tide's coming this way, and you'll get the little eddy that comes behind the pile, and you just can drop straight down. You don't have to cast nothing. You just drop in that dead water, and that's where those fish are sitting, and work that bait just like that. He's killed them the last week that way. That was one scenario. As you can see in the section here, the water, you got the pile down. Those fish sit behind that pile, getting out of that current. And if you drop your bait down right up in there, it's usually a good way to fish it. Another way we fish it is when you fish in either like a pass or a canal, and it's pretty deep, Like in the section view here, it's 16 to 18 feet right here. Those fish tend to sit up on those ledges like that, and if you get up, anchor your boat here, drop your bait down here, and just work it up that ledge like that, flipping that bait back and forth, that's another way we work it.
You can also work it down the ledge too.
You can work it down the ledge, yeah. The other way we fish it is like in the, what is it, where the big green bridge is? What's that, the intercoastal?
ICW.
ICW, yeah, yeah. In ICW, you know, you'll find those big holes. There's a lot of holes up in there, and if you got your electronics, you can see the fish in those holes in the wintertime, and you just get right on top of them, just drop that drop shot straight down and work it. And we've had a lot of success that way. So those are the kind of ways we fish it. Ron's going to show you kind of the way we make that knot and that. So anybody got any questions real quick?
On the top, on the plan view up top,
Yeah.
where you see the water coming around the pilings, when we're doing the Lake Petrol, we would be to the right of that. And you want to get your, if you can master it, you want to get your lure to whip inside that piling. And when you whip it out, that's where they hang out. They hang right around that piling. Which I call it playing Russian roulette, because you're going to lose a lot of lures. But you stay close to them pilings, you catch some nice trout.
Ron?
All right, I'm gonna use some heavier line to tie the teeth out so you can see it. There's two approaches. You see, I don't know if you can see that, maybe kind of twisted a little bit. Yeah, I'll send this one. So twist it around, and then this other one is just straight up. And Rudy ties this one. I sometimes tie this other one. Anyway, I'll pass that one. So what to do in the twist one, what you do is once you have your straight, your total length that you want, you take it and you just kind of keep twisting it around. And what that will do is try to give you that offset from where the tee's going to be. And then what you do is you just take and make a loop. And so the point is that at the bottom here, you're going to be on this bottom section. You're now going to be twisting multiple loops. Just keep making multiple loops here to where you have it twisted on either side. And then you take this guy and you slide it through that little hole that we just made with that loop. And if you can see that, the two on either side, and there's that loop. And you pull it up, and then you and then you can see how it's set like that, and then you can slide it up.
They taught you that in Indiana?
No. YouTube videos, man. And then you tighten it up, and there's your teeth. And then, as I said, what you have then is a pretty, now, the ones I saw on YouTube, the guy said, well, you know, you can even cut this one and then make it longer and tie it up, or just leave it double, either way.
It'd be easy to put on your hook on, put a double one.
Well, let me show you something about putting your hooks, all right? This is one of the key things that a lot of folks don't tell you. So if I have this heavy line and I've got my eye here and I try to put that thing through there, I can't get it through there. If I've got a small eye and I have heavier line, right? So what you do is, when you're making them up, you can then take, and watch carefully, right? I'm going to put this, I'm going to put this through the loop. All right, through there, put it then the single through here, then back through the loop itself. Get it eventually. And what I'm doing is then pulling.
And meanwhile, your buddy's pulling in trout left and right.
Well, hey, you make these things. Hey,
Make them up before you go
hey,
fishing.
if you're gonna go fishing, you're gonna make these things up. Right? what I'm trying to show is that,
Use it as a puller through.
yeah, what you're gonna do,
Yeah.
so what you're gonna do is to go through your eye.
But you just want to go back through and pull it.
Do this, put it then through this one, and then back through your eye. So you're coming back through your eye with a single line twice. Okay, single line twice, and then you pull this tight to where it then goes on to the other. Now, this is 60-pound test, I don't know if I can get it through this small. It may be I go through this small one. There, it did. There it is. All right. So that helps, because trying to put this 60-pound test into that small eye is just going to be really hard with the double O, just that little trick. Now, here's the other thing is, one of the ways that you can then just double this over and say, you're done. Just flip it over that way. The other possibility is that if you leave enough of this line out, then you can tie a Palomar knot onto this one. I don't know how many people use Palomar knots, but the Palomar knot is where you just do an overhand knot with the double. Okay. Essentially overhand knot with the double, and then you take and put it through that other loop and then tighten it up. And that's called a Palomar knot. The Palomar knot's a really, really strong knot. As a matter of fact, it's one of the strongest knots for monofilament. It's the strongest one for monofilament. Now, the other thing too, as I said, many times I always worry about using the FG knot, which is from my 10-pound braid to my 20-pound fluorocarbon, and the FG knot. And that's the one that takes a lot, and it's hard to try to tie it when you're out on the water and stuff. But I try to protect it more than anything.
Did I hear 10-pound braid
10-pound braid.
with a 20-pound leader?
20-pound fluorocarbon leader is what I use. Now again, you can use monofilament.
The reason I ask, if I get hung up and I have 10-pound braid, and I have a 20-pound leader, and you try and pull the thing loose, what's going to break?
All right, this is what I'm trying to tell you. For my 20-pound either monofilament or fluorocarbon, I usually will tie a loop knot, and the loop knot fails faster than that 10-pound braid or the knot.
But if it didn't break, you'd be in deep shit.
If what breaks? Well, if another breaks, then I have to tie another
Yeah,
knot.
I mean, it might break by the reel.
Break by the reel? It won't break by the reel. No, it's going to break. Yeah,
Just say it.
it may.
One's 20-pound.
Hey, and 10-pound test with that, just like you may have seen that.
I'd rather
That
use-
was stripped with
I'd
rods.
rather use 20-pound braid and 10-pound leader.
No, that's fine. I mean, yeah, again, and I'm no expert, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what I use. But the idea is that I know that if I tie that loop knot, okay, that is the one that's going to fail before the other.
I was fishing with Chaz's buddy, my partner. And I found out, and I didn't know this, and I'm an old guy, that Chaz uses 15-pound fluorocarbon on his whole rig.
Yeah.
And he says it drops like a stone. So I'm gonna go rig one up.
Well, the other thing, Chaz,
The only thing you gotta remember is Chaz makes his own line. So he can afford to put fluorocarbon on his whole reel.
Yeah.
You
well,
know?
the other thing, if you've seen Chaz's videos, you see him do that punch a train pop. And we asked him about that. I said, Chaz, man, that's just
I
crazy.
don't see how he holds his wrist.
Yeah, you got pump train pop because he's raising that thing up like big arc. I said, well, how are you doing that? Isn't your lure just jumping? He says, no. He says, with that, because of the fluorocarbon, or even monofilament, it stretches so much that he says, he doesn't have any braid at all.
You know, if it
He says
stretches
it's
so
not-
much, how can he feel something on it? That's what I want to know.
Fluorocarbon doesn't stretch nearly as much.
That's what he told us. He said he's really not jigging it as
That's
much.
also why when he hooked one, he's gotta go like, he's like 100 miles back here. Because he got so much strength in
With
his
my
line.
braid, I can feel a gnat fart on my braid line.
Oh, no, I would do braid and then have the other.
But, I'm gonna put fluorocarbon on one of my reels, just to see what it's like.
Be ready to lift real hard, real far back when you catch
Stevie
one.
says that thing drops.
Well, the other thing is that, as a matter of fact, when you have, one of the things we've been successful with this past late winter or January, February, fishing the Mr. Go along the rocks, we're throwing, hard baits. And your hard baits will sometimes come without any kind of a split ring, split ring on it. And it just has the where you connect directly. Well, if you connect directly to it, you're not going to get as much action out of that lure. And so one of the things that's recommended is that loop knot.
Yeah, loop knot.
And so the loop knot, you essentially just do this.
Like this. This is one that doesn't have a ring on
Yeah.
it.
So you create just an overhand knot. Then you slide it through. I'll put my glasses back on.
My thumb's getting away.
You slide it through, and then you go back in where it's open, where the line's coming out, where it's open, and then you pull it tight and get it down pretty far so that you don't make too big of a loop. And then you just do, with me, I just do 3 on my 20-pound, not this how I got, because it's how I got it set up, just 3 times around, and then you want to go back again in
Same way.
this other side. And then when you do that, what would we do if we didn't have 2 hands and teeth? So when you pull it tight, what you see, and 2 things happen with a loop knot, which is good. Whenever you fish in any kind of cover with some kind of weedless lure or something, this way the tag end just goes down instead of coming up, catching into the weeds. And so what you now have is, and you clip this off, and that's your loop. And then with a hard bait like that, it allows it to flop around.
All right, anybody got any questions?
That's the only knot I use right there is the cinch knot. I use that to join my mono to braid. Only thing is, I come through this loop twice.
No, that's the
Come back.
improved cinch knot.
Come back to it twice. Just run it through here twice, draw it down.
I'll show you all an easy way to connect your boat.
That's not a unit.
I go 1, 2, 3, 4, come through, create a loop, I'll go through that loop
No,
twice.
that's not a unit.
I learned that 40 years
That's not a
ago.
unit.
So you're,
That's
so
a
the
cinch
loop on
knot.
here, you go around it twice.
Yeah, I have to tell you. That's not a
The
unit.
improved cinch knot comes back.
This loop,
Yeah.
see this line right here? That line comes through there twice.
We got an argument going on here, not an argument, but this is the cinch knot, the way this one's tied. Stanley takes the tag end and puts it back through again.
Twice.
Well, how many times? That's called the improved cinch knot.
I do what you call a double tripling knot, where you wrap it through the eye twice. and
Right.
I'll bring mine back through at one time.
And I could tie that thing in 20
quick.
seconds. You know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I learned that from my dad when
You
I
want to
was
tie
7 years old.
a Z-knot or whatever he
That's
calls
right.
it. 30
Now,
minutes.
the other one, just FYI,
5 to 7 wraps?
Say again?
You do 5 to 7 wraps?
4 or 5, yeah. It's so simple though, you just, quick.
the other one is
No,
where you go through the eye twice.
That's called a double tripling.
Well, the trilene knot. Go through the eye twice, you twist, and when you go back through on this other side, you don't do the improved part. That is that. You've gone through here twice, you do this, and then you come back
To
and you
both
have
loops.
2 loops there and tighten it.
And you gotta wet it, otherwise,
you ain't gotta wet it.
maybe I'm fine.
I'll do that. Ron, you got give me a piece of line, please.
Yeah, It's got a hook on it.
Okay, give me this, no, I'm a tie knot, I don't wanna mess you up. Did I tie
No,
knot?
you tie it down there. Got a hook, watch out.
Cut me 2 pieces of
You
line.
have it like that?
I'll show you.
1, 2, 3, 4. Go through that one, come back through here twice. 1,
What if you leave your teeth on there?
twice. Done. And that's all I ever use. And I use
Really?
that
Yeah.
to mono and, does the same thing.
Yeah, I got a knife, wait a minute.
I got scissors right
They let me have it.
Hey, if you have it,
It says president, yeah, give me that.
Watch, you got a hook on it.
Oh, okay, this is fine.
this one.
Okay, y'all talking about that FG knot or whatever. Look, here's what you do.
It's called the surgeon's knot.
Triple surgeon,
Triple surgeon's knot.
3,
That's a fast knot.
then you wet it.
And meanwhile, your buddy's pulling in fists left and right.
All right, a couple of things, just FYI. If you go on the Salt Strong website.
And it won't come undone.
Go on the Salt Strong website, they have knots.
That you can do when you're out
There's a link
fishing.
to show they did a lot of testing with different kind of either monofilament, braid, and tested all these different knots. And what they said, and I believe it, is that for monofilament and fluorocarbon, when you're going to connect directly to either a hook or to a lure, you want to use the Palomar knot. They said that's the best one for fluoro or mono, direct tie. If you're going to direct tie braid, they say to use the uni knot. Now the uni knot's a little bit tougher to tie, okay? But it's a good knot, okay, when you're going to tie braid to any kind of fix. Because you try to use the cinch. I've tried to use the cinch knot when I first came out with braid. And that thing just slipped right off because it's so slippery.
Wait, well, on what? I've never had a problem with that knot. I use it for everything.
I believe you, Stan. I'm
That's
not
what
saying
Gus
you're wrong.
uses to connect your line to your reel.
Well, one of the other things is that if you do try to use that, you can take the tag end, tie an overhand knot, and then cinch it up, and that overhand knot then will try to keep it tight. Okay, I've done that before, but now I just go to the uni knot if I'm going to tie braid directly to something. But again, I really don't, because now I have the FG knot, which goes my braid to my leader.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Smaller ones are better. They have like 3 sides.
You talking about something about like a paper clip?
Right, exactly.
And you had success with it? Mike, threw it for, by the time I got things on it, I said, I just switched over to power. That was my experience. Now, everybody's got.
You just gotta get used to it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I've been doing it enough times to.
What brand of pair, you got those guys too?
Those are called L and N braces, smaller than 6.
Simpler drop.
And if you see some of them now, they're as big as their 26-inch red shoes. Take a look.
That's a nice try.
When they create the loops, what they're doing is they don't just do one quick overhand knot and be done with it. If you take and you come back around one more time and then go through, you create what's known as a figure 8 knot. And that figure 8 knot's a lot stronger than the other. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? One overhand and go through, that's not as strong. That's coming back around one more time and then going through. And I'll try to see if I can show it to you. SR8. And it's the olive green. That says go-to bait.
Say that again, please.
It's a Rapala. SR is the saltwater based, SR8 olive green, and it's in the, was it 90, it's like a 90 millimeter.
So 3/4.
Yeah, less than that. And that's his only go-to that he uses. So I used that yesterday to start, and I got 2 hits, and I caught one small one right to the boat, and he got off, and I didn't worry about it. And then he went with the scope stick, and I said, well, let me try something else. So I tried something else, line, but he was catching all the fish.
What was the water depth y'all was fishing in?
We're fishing along the rocks, which is about, probably
It
3
will-
feet to
10.
10, but, we're probably catching most of them in about 6 feet of water.
Would it be the same purpose as like a man-made reef,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them about your crawfish lure.
A crawfish? So we just got back from Indiana, and my wife went to Walmart, and she found that they had these little small crawfish on the clearance aisle. It was $1.50. No, it was just little power bait. Little power bait, and they're about this big, and little red ones. And so she bought them for me, and I said, okay. She said, you gonna take those? I said, yeah, I'll take them. So when we went Wednesday, so I said, okay, Rudy, let me try them. So I hooked them up. Put it right into the grass, and as it came out of the grass, I caught a little small rat red. I said, oh, wow, this is great. So then I threw it in again, and this time I got it hung up. I said, oh, Rudy may have to go try to get it. And this was under the cork, right? And so as I'm waiting, all of a sudden I see the line go, like came out, it hit, I was throwing a double, and it hit the other one and pulled it out already, another little small one, excuse me. And then the third time, it was an overslot. So we caught small ones, nothing in the slot, but it was using these little ones.
L&M Bridge coming into the lake.
We got some 19,
Hey, Ron,
20-inch
Ron,
trout.
look at the camera and tell them where you're catching the fish. I want to know. Folks, look out, we're giving them away here. You leaving?
No, I'm coming to ask you, you got your Team JoJo shirt and stuff straightened
Yeah,
out?
I'm gonna go in in a minute. I'm gonna talk about that in a second.
Oh, okay.
Sit down.
All right, so the next one's me.